Top 8 of the most powerful armed forces on the planet. Italy. The Italian military has placed rather highly on Credit Suisse's report as the country is in possession of 2 active aircraft carriers. These carriers, in addition to Italy's relatively large submarine and helicopter fleets, have drastically boosted Italy's ranking. Italy's armed forces also have an estimated budget of $34 billion. South Korea. South Korea has been left with little to no choice but to have a large and extremely capable military in the face of potential North Korean aggression. With all these realities in mind, South Korea also has a number of submarines, combat helicopters, and active personnel. The country also has an impressive fleet of tanks and is the 6th largest air force in the world. They also have an estimated budget of $62.3 billion. France. The French military is relatively smaller but is highly trained, professional, and more than capable of force projection. The country also has the nearly new aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle. France also routinely engages in military deployments all throughout Africa to help stabilize governments and to even fight against extremism. The armed forces of France have an estimated budget of $62.3 billion. India. India is considered one of the largest military powers on this planet. Aside from the US and China, India has the most active workforce of any country, in addition to the most number of tanks and aircraft of any country besides Russia, the US, or China. India even has significant access to certain kinds of weapons. It was expected to easily become the 4th highest military spender on Earth at least by 2020. The Indian Armed Forces have an estimated budget of $50 billion. Japan. In absolute terms, the Japanese military is said to be relatively small. Nonetheless, this country is extremely well equipped. According to reports, Japan has the 4th largest submarine fleet on the list. Japan even has 4 aircraft carriers, although these vessels are only equipped with their helicopter fleets. Japan also has the 4th largest combat helicopter fleet, right behind China, Russia, and the US. Japan's armed forces have an estimated budget of $41.6 billion. China. The Chinese military has grown quite rapidly in terms of both size and capability in the last few decades. In terms of raw workforce, it is said to be the largest military in the world. China also has the 2nd largest tank fleet right behind Russia, as well as the 2nd largest submarine fleet just behind the US. China has even made incredibly rapid strides in its military modernization program. They have since been developing a range of potentially game-changing military technologies, which includes ballistic missiles as well as 5th-generation aircraft. The Chinese armed forces have a massive budget of $216 billion. Russia. The Russian armed forces are easily the unquestioned 2nd strongest military power on the planet. Russia has the largest tank fleet in the world, the 2nd largest aircraft fleet right behind the US, and the 3rd largest submarine fleet just behind the US as well as China. The Kremlin's military spending has also increased by nearly a third ever since 2008 and is expected to grow about 44% within the next 3 years. Russia has even demonstrated its ability to easily project force abroad with its deployment of soldiers to Syria. Russia's armed forces come with a budget of $84.5 billion. United States of America. Despite sequestration and various other spending cuts, the United States spends a lot more money on defense than any other country. Their armed forces have an estimated budget of $601 billion. America's biggest and most conventional military advantage is its fleet of nearly 10 aircraft carriers. In comparison, India, which is supposedly constructing its third carrier, has the second most carriers in the world. The US even has by far the most aircraft of any other country, cutting-edge technology like the Navy's new railgun, and quite a large and well-trained human force.